Thank you for staying tuned to the program this morning. Now, I want to ask a question. Forget I'm laughing. Some of us are feeling guilty in the studio. That's why I have all this, laughter, smiles all over me. So, have you ever heard of this medical condition called enuresis? Well, I'm not speaking big grammar. It simply means bedwetting. I want to ask you, how many of you, like sincerely, did not bedwet as a child? Honestly, I know that most of us did, and some of us suffered the beatings of our lives. But you know what? We thank God that at some stage it stopped. But I'm really curious, is there anybody that really didn't bedwet as a child? And have you ever known that it's actually a medical condition when you bedwet beyond a certain stage or age? Well, today we're going to be doing justice to that topic. And the title of our topic today is Understanding Neuroses. That is understanding bedwetting. Some of you beat your children to stupor because they bedwet. Yes, and I know that even some adults still date, still bedwet. But are there cures? Are there solutions for this? You will find out from our guest this morning. Please join me as I make welcome Julie George. She is an advocate for enuresis. But I'm curious, of all the things in this world, why did she choose this? She will also be answering that question. But as for she's an advocate, so she will not be shy to tell us why she decided to go into this. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
How are you
Good
this
morning,
morning?
Julie.
Very
Good
well. Good
morning.
morning.
A topic, enuresis. Now, tell us about it and how common it is among children and even adults.
Okay. Well, enuresis, which is the medical term for bedwetting, is the involuntary loss of urine during sleep, with emphasis on the word involuntary because it happens without the knowledge of the victim.
Yeah.
So a victim can be asleep and not know when bedwetting occurs. It is unknowing to any victim at all. So there is no need for stigmatization or bullying to any victim at all. And there are different types of enuresis. Well, we have the primary, we have the secondary, we have the nocturnal, and we have the diurnal.
Explain.
Yes. Primary enuresis is the process whereby a victim, whether boy or girl, male or female, experience persistent bedwetting since childhood with no significant period of dryness, maybe for at least 6 months to 1 year.
Continuously.
Yes, continuous bedwetting, persistent bedwetting. And then that is primary enuresis. And secondary enuresis is the process whereby the victim wasn't a bedwetter before, but all of a sudden starts bedwetting.
Wow.
Yes. Now, this is more common among adults, and it can be due to an underlying disease or sickness like diabetes, UTI, cancer, and all of that. That is secondary enuresis. Now, nocturnal enuresis is the type of enuresis that happens only at night. Now, it works hand in hand with either the primary enuresis or the secondary enuresis. So, some people who have been bedwetting since childhood bedwet only at night. That is primary nocturnal enuresis. Then diurnal enuresis is the opposite of nocturnal. It happens during the day, but it is a very rare type.
During the day, while sleeping or
While sleeping, maybe the person decides to take a nap, and then it happens during the day alone and not at night. But like I said, it is a rare type of enuresis. So those are the four basic types of.
But most of these people that this thing happened to, they always dream that. They usually dream that they're in the toilet or they're in the bathroom.
Yes. That is, we call it deceptive dream. It has to do with psychology. Yes. In that time, I think the brain is trying to pass signal, telling the body, okay, it's time to stand up and void. You understand? But maybe due to deep sleep, the person is unable to, come up. So the brain will always look for a way to go and interpret it so that the person can wake up. But if the person is unavailable to wake up, just dream that he or she is peeing while doing something, just takes a moment to go and pee, and then it happens.
The next slap will wake you up from sleep.
Yes.
Well, Julie, you are advocating for enuresis. you want to bring this medical condition to the attention of Nigerians generally. And you also do this work through your foundation. The name of your foundation is?
Incontinence Awareness and Support Foundation.
Yes, I wanted you to pronounce it because I could not.
Incontinence, yes.
Incontinence,
yeah.
Yes. Now, there are misconceptions you must have come across from your experience relating with people who have this condition, or people who have this conditions. I know from my own very layman point of view that at a certain age, I no longer expect my children to bedwet. Like, I expect, even if you bedwet, like, but a 10-year-old boy, 8-year-old boy should not be bedwetting. Like, what is wrong with you? You understand? But our solutions to this, as Lizzie said, you receive the beating of your life and things like that. Now, what other misconceptions have you come across?
Okay, well, in my experience as an advocate for bedwetting, I have come across a lot of misconceptions surrounding bedwetting. Yes, a lot of people think bedwetting is a spiritual problem, especially in this part of the world, where a lot of things are considered spiritual. So for someone to go through an embarrassing situation, a lot of people will term it spiritual. But bedwetting is nothing, it has nothing to do with spirituality. It is a medical condition, like every other medical condition that we know. You get? So a lot of people would experience bedwetting. It cuts across races, it cuts across cultures, tribes, and whatnot. Bedwetting can affect everyone at any age. So that is why it is good that we go to visit any healthcare professional to rule out the causes of bedwetting. So, and also we have this other misconception, which is some people think bedwetting is as a result of laziness. Yes, and on the part of the victim, which I would like to reiterate that parents should take note. You get? Bedwetting is not an act of laziness. Nobody chooses to wet the bed. Not laziness has nothing to do with bedwetting. Like I said before, it's like it happens without the knowledge of the victim. So no victim knows when bedwetting occurs. No victim, whether boy or girl, man or woman, nobody knows when bedwetting occurs. So we can't say it is laziness. We can't say laziness is the reason why this child is wetting the bed. So I would love to correct that, misconception, so that, we can be better.
Yes,
Wow.
boarding school for that matter.
Oh boy. Now I understand the passion and dedication. But now there are good. There's, of course, there's a positive to this, in the sense that, like you said, you manage this, you experienced this for over 20 years, and today you're dry. You're able to stay dry, and you're not. You're passing this knowledge on to people. You're advocating for people to understand, due to the stigma and how the kind of treatment that comes with people tagging one as a bedwetter. I remember then, once you bedwet, they call you atole.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk about managing this condition now. Yes. Now, I want you to tell us, how can we manage this condition? Let's start it from three phases. Let's talk about parents and caregivers. Let's talk about medical intervention, hospitals, and the rest.
Okay. One of the ways to manage bedwetting as a medical condition is to go for the right knowledge.
Okay.
For so long, we've been going about bedwetting with the wrong strategy. Like stop taking water at 6 p.m. A lot of people do that, but that's not the reason.
No, yeah,
it doesn't help. So for some people it does, but it didn't work for me, and it didn't work for a lot of people. A lot of clients that I have right now, it's not working for them.
I even heard they have to cook lizard soup for you.
Some people,
That is in your village.
a lot of things.
That one have redneck.
Agama lizard.
They will cook it, then they'll give you to eat. You stop.
Or they will tie it on your waist. The one I know is that they will tie it on your waist.
Yes, all of those things. And some people have to dig a hole and stay near the hole and do some kind of decapitation and taking a lot of concoction. I took a lot of concoction. A lot of this, what we call agbo. I took a lot of that. But no, it didn't work. It didn't work out. So I think one way to manage bedwetting, we call it behavioral conditioning.
Okay.
There are some certain things you should and should not take. There are some things that trigger the bladder to want to urinate, and we do not want that as a bedwetting victim. Just like, for instance, when someone with what they call it, someone with ulcer, you are advised not to take anything that contains pepper,
Yes.
because it triggers that. So bedwetting also, you are advised not to take anything that serve as bladder irritants, like carbonated drinks,
Okay.
Coke, Fanta, and the likes, caffeinated drinks, things that contain caffeine, like coffee, tea, all of that. Even if you want to take things like that, you can take it during the early hours of the day, so that you'll be able to go to the toilet during the day, and then your bladder will become empty. And there will be no such thing as an irritable bladder. So you have to, do that. Avoid carbonated drinks, avoid caffeinated drinks, avoid things that are highly diuretic, things that cause you to pee very often. This is for adults. If you're always taking slimming tea, all of those things to detoxify the body, they are considered highly diuretic. So you need to reduce that. Even if you want to consume that, you consume during the early hours of the day, and then go and use the toilets at night. All these things are what we call behavioral conditioning, so that it will help the victim to, reduce the amount of episodes they have. That way, you're having more dry nights, more dry nights, from one dry night to another. Before you know, you can be dry. Yes.
So are there specific medications given to individuals who are suffering this?
Well, no synthetic drugs is confirmed very effective for bedwetting presently. For now. But we have the bedwetting alarm.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, it's a specific alarm that helps to train the brain to respond to a full bladder. Yes, it is especially made for bedwetting victims.
Okay.
And that is the most effective way to end bedwetting in children and also in adults, depending how consistent the adult is to follow through the process.
Okay, so now let me ask this question. There are so many kids who have been embarrassed in schools. Okay, in your own case, yes, yours was a boarding school. Some, yes, even I know of some schools, especially these, let me not mention now, some schools where maybe a child dozes off and he bedwets, and then you now see everybody, even the teachers, or the caregivers helping or joining the kids to make a mockery of this child. What do you think schools and communities, individuals, what do you think we need to do to create awareness, to stop stigmatization, because whether we like it or not, this thing is a mental thing.
Yes.
And some people don't get over stigmatization. That's why you see in some places, you see them even like doing something awful. I don't want to mention it now, but when I said that, you know what I mean. Going into depression, what can we do to create awareness?
Well, first and foremost, we have to talk about these things. Nobody talks about bedwetting
Because they're ashamed.
because they are ashamed. I always use myself as an example. I never spoke about my bedwetting issue with anybody. Yes. even
Why?
my
Did you suffer
closest friends.
rejection?
Yes, I did, because I was openly embarrassed by my school mother then in school. And I was asked to carry my wet mattress around the hostel. And people were drumming and singing, all of those things. So I fell into depression, series of depression, yes. And also I suffered rejection, it really affected my quality of life as an individual. And it took a whole lot of help and prayers to come out of that. So I think we should talk about these things. If we have people speaking about bedwetting, sensitization. A lot of people will know that bedwetting is not something to joke with. Yes, non-victims should show support, empathy, and understanding. It can happen to anybody. Yes, according to research, bedwetting happens in like 1 in 10 families. One adult suffers bedwetting, but nobody's speaking about it, so we don't know. So these things are, a lot of people, even the people mocking this person, has someone who is bedwetting. But they won't talk about it.
Maybe even the person.
Yes, but they won't talk about it. So we need to show empathy. That is one way to grow, and also speak about it. It is nothing to be ashamed of. Well, the more we speak about it, the more people get to know about it, and then they shut their mouth. Yeah, they don't
Wow.
say negative things. And teachers should also learn to, punish the offenders. When
Yeah, I
they
think
do
I agree
something.
with you.
Okay. Well, your foundation, the Incontinence
Awareness and
Awareness
support.
and Support Foundation, particularly now, what programs do you have in place to continue to bring awareness to this issue?
Okay. My foundation aims at promoting social acceptance of bedwetting as a medical condition while building empathy and awareness and providing support for victims of bedwetting in Africa. So one of the projects we have is called the Project C, which is project support, enlightenment, and awareness. And that project is aimed at reaching out to children of school going age and create awareness among them, tell them that this is what bedwetting is, this is how to tackle bedwetting, and also dish out the right strategies on how to overcome bedwetting. That is one of the projects. And secondly, we do our annual rally where we go to sensitize the general public, especially people in the rural area, about bedwetting and how to, curb it. So generally, we are aimed at sensitizing the public because we need to change the narrative. That is the first thing, the first step to take is to change the already existing negative narrative surrounding bedwetting.
Wow. Jilly John. JJ.
Yes.
JJ. Honestly, I must commend you for this good job you're doing. It is not easy to come out boldly to say, yes, you suffered this thing, and that's why you are creating awareness. You even went further by having a foundation so that I can create more awareness so that people can speak out. God bless you. Thank you so much. I want to believe viewers out there have heard you, they've listened, and please, if you've been beating your child, because stop it. She's here, she has told us that, it depends. To an extent, it is a medical condition. So instead of beating that child, removing all your bed and all the child's body is full of belts, what now? Please take that child to the hospital. And if you're the one too, don't be ashamed. See, we all have one thing we're going through, but the thing is, we don't speak out. Just like you said, we don't speak out. And sometimes, if you hear somebody else's problem, you honestly thank God for your own. JJ, thank you so much for coming once again. We are proud of you. Please keep the good work going.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being one of those heroes without
I know,
capes.
right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the program is so good morning, Abuja. Let's take a short break. We will be right back.